Hello everyone, welcome to Fiaura. Now cut the music off because I'm pretty sure it's copyrighted. It's some rockin'. It's a decent soundtrack, I'll say that. But this is IS Defense. Now, I'm gonna go ahead and say this. This would be better if I could mod out the political connotations of this game. Just flat out mod them out. I'm kind of sad I can't. But before we get started, let's take a look at the options menu. We have, you can change the gameplay, corpse limit, basically to decrease your load on your computer, color your crosshair, whether you can I would like to be able to toggle these instead of hold down. Never mind, we'll hold down. Bullet time effects, field of vision, which I'm going to increase drastically. Graphics options are surprisingly high detailed here. There's even an advanced settings section. There's a windowed full screen mode. I'm kind of surprised how much thought and effort has been put into this. But it's there. You have your basic audio options. Silence the music, sound effects, master volume. And you have your control choices, which are very varied, but it's there. It is surprisingly well thought out. On top of that, there's automatically this mod section where you can download mods and operate mods. So the game is made to be modded. If somebody could mod out the political connotations of this, I would appreciate it, because then it would actually be, you know, fun without those. Now, I've already completed the Sicilian Shores. The game, and the reason I said the political connotations, okay, let me go over this and understand that I do not support making games like this. The gameplay, which you're going to see here in a bit and judge for yourself, is fairly decent. It's very reminiscent of a couple of games that I enjoyed in the past. However, the connotation here is that ISIS invades Europe. You don't, I'm going to emphasize this, you don't always need a story or a backdrop for a game. You don't. And this is one of those games I feel would be better without a story or a backdrop. Just let us have our mindless fun. That much said, I am on the harbor. So let's take a look at the harbor, and if the game ends soon enough, I'll go show you guys the Sicilian Shores before this. So, this is a tower defense game in which you play basically the tower. That's all you are. It's very reminiscent to me of Beachhead and Beachhead 2000. I'm actually going to take a second. You do have it now, while we're paused here, you do have a skills section that you unlock as you gain experience. Which your experience bar is, I'll show it to you as soon as I'm out. But you can change how the game works drastically. You do get to call in support, which is what this bar over here is for calling in support. I personally prefer the troops, because then you have little ground guys out here helping you. And then you have some players to upgrade your health and the way you work. You have a machine gun, you have a rocket launcher, and you have support. So you do have, so as you play the game, you do get some better and better abilities. Basically, this is all the gameplay. You can rotate the turret around in case enemies come from behind you, which I think is a nice little feature. / mechanic to force you to look around. You have infinite ammo. And you are basically the one lone turret here. Uh-oh, I hear something. And then we're going to gun down these guys up here. Now the problem I have is that anybody can engage you from any range. Which, the way Beachhead worked, they didn't let that happen because any range wasn't always fair to the player. Sometimes I can't even make out the enemies. I just flat out can't make out. I can't make out who's a suicide bomber, and therefore who's a bigger threat.
You've been promoted. Keep up
That's
the
cool.
good work.
Reload while I can. Oh shit, I'm running shot. I basically have to hold out till I can call in the ground troops, because once I can start calling in ground troops, this gets a lot easier. There it is.
Infantry squad entering combat zone.
That almost was bad. Trying not to gun down my own guys. As you can see, the infantry squad helps me out a ton. If I could hit with the RPG, it would be nice. I personally would prefer it if we had a cannon. Again, calling in the extra guys is really useful, as you can see. You can also call in airstrikes, helicopters, artillery barrages. It's all about how much you're willing to risk before you make that call.
Infantry squad standing infantry.
And I can call in a lot of infantry. I can also gun down that raft before it gets here. And I think I just gunned down my own guy. My bad. But as you guys can see, this is the entire gameplay. It's very twitch reflexy. It's very, very
Supplies fully loaded.
kind of snap judgment type of deal.
9 o'clock. Left.
Screw that guy. And I'm about to die. That's the entire game. It calculates up your kills, vehicles destroyed, yada yada yada. Let's exit and go to the previous map. I haven't been to the other map yet, but it took me so long grinding to get to this point that I was like, it is a grind. It is a grind. I'm gonna say that. It is a true grind here to get from map to map, to get the skill points you need to level up. But I'm going to show you guys the other map. The gameplay isn't exactly super riveting. I mean, it's nice and twitchy. I'll give it that. But it's nothing I'd write home about. The graphics are amazingly well done for something so simple. And yes, that is literally how you destroy things trying to come ashore. As boats explode, everyone!
Supply ship.
Because this is a Michael Bay production, right? And if you can stop him from getting ashore,
Infantry ready to move into position.
it goes a lot better for you. Now I'm going to save up and try to get some of the other abilities to go off. Anybody else? You. And the enemy generation is entirely random. It's not... I've had matches... I've had games where the enemies have been very sparsely generated to start with, and then there's breaks and stuff. And then I've had games where it's just continuous wave of death coming at your doorstep.
Artillery holding. On location.
And you also have daily scores, which if you look in the upper right corner, you'll see. On the left is my health bar, by the way. On the right is my XP bar / my new...
Standing by. Airstrike ready.
Uh-oh, some of them got ashore. I think somebody just exploded. They're dead. Hello!
Hovering on target.
Now see, that's what I wanted to get, was the chopper. So as soon as I can, I'm going to call in the helicopter. As soon as I can get something ashore to challenge it.
Right flank. Taking enemy. Entering zone. Chopper ready to assist.
1 settings or anything like that.
Secured the right flank.
That's good news. But as you guys can see, this is pretty much it. I mean, I don't have a lot more to say about it. It's very reminiscent of Beachhead, which is a game I did enjoy. I just wish I had a cannon instead of a rocket launcher. I'm an in-place turret. The other thing is that the enemies can attack me from any range. Which basically means that until you get the ability to regenerate health, you just randomly lose hit points. And there's nothing you can do about it. You're just going to constantly lose hit points. Because as soon as they get off their boats, or as soon as they come around the corner, you start taking hits. The reason Beachhead worked so well was not because you were constantly taking hits, but because they had to actually get close to you for them to start delivering hits. Get down!
Awaiting orders.
Oh yeah, everything explodes.
Standing by.
I'm waiting for the airstrike. I'm waiting for the airstrike.
Flying by. Affirmative. Leaving airfield to your location. Supplies fully loaded.
Through the entire beach. Yeah, who brings inflatable boats that explode? I would love to meet these people. I'd love to meet the people who make exploding inflatable boats. That seems like an awesome job. That's gonna hurt. Yep, dead infantry.
On target. Artillery contact. Suppress and eliminate. Supplies fully loaded. Uploading cash.
Oh, the explosions!
Infantry airdrop in. Boots approaching. Squad. Aim point.
I got some new rockets. That's good news. A lot of my infantry are dead now. I'm still at full health. As I said, I can just hold out for days at this point. I mean, there's nothing stopping me. All the boom is going on all around me! This is with the volume, by the way, at half volume, plus you guys getting a negative 10 decibel.
Supplies fully loaded. Infantry squad entering combat zone.
I'm about to die. Yeah, that's it.
Supply ship standing by.
Nothing I can do, there's too many. That's it. Yeah, that's the entire game. Is it bad? No, not really. Is it good? Somewhat. If you remove the overarching political connotation, this could be fun. But considering what that you don't, it kind of loses its luster very quickly. And I really think this could be a better game with a bit more thought into the design. Enemies shooting you from whatever range they want is not okay. Enemies only able to drive jeeps and technicals, not okay. They should have tanks. If you're going to do a proper invasion, you should have some tanks. They should have aircraft. I should have, like, an AA gun or a missile launcher or some way to shoot down aircraft, or I should just be able to machine gun them down. There's a lot of things missing here that were in Beachhead, by the way, that were in Beachhead. But let's go take a look at the Steam store, shall we? Okay, so what does this game supposedly promise us? Is it set in a politically fictional front where the expansion of ISIS went out of hand? They took over Northern Africa, spreading their genocidal understanding of the world's order, strongly armed vast numbers prepare for anything the Islamic State, launching an invasion of Europe over the entire Mediterranean Sea. The player takes the role of the NATO stationary machine gun operator deployed to defend the shores of Europe. His task is to blast as many invaders as possible until his glorious death. To do this, he has NATO support forces, machine gun, and a rocket launcher at his disposal. During the progress of this sort of defense, he gets the opportunities to upgrade his gear, his body, and his army rank, which affects the efficiency of called support. The game is our small side project and our personal veto against what is happening in the Middle East nowadays, as well as an attempt at resurrecting a pretty dead genre of games like Operation Wolf or Beachhead. This would honestly be good and timeless if you took the political connotations out of it. It honestly has a lot of work, effort, and overall, it's decent. Just take the political shit out of it. Seriously, just take the political stuff out of it and it would be great. But other than that, I mean, you get your explosions, you get your mindless shooting. That's what I would want in a Beachhead-style defense game, is my explosions and my mindless shooting. I don't need my politics in it. Do I agree with ISIS? No, but this isn't a political commentary channel, and you didn't come here for that. However, I would say this would be a pretty good successor to Beachhead and Operation Wolf if you just made it about the gameplay. I'm just saying. Would I recommend it? Yeah, I would. If you miss Beachhead, if you miss Operation Wolf, if you miss those kind of games, you'll be right at home. Just come home and have some mindless violence, and you'll be happy. Would I necessarily say I'm going to put a shitload of hours into this? No. I've only got, it says 1.2, we just played for half an hour. I've only got about an hour and a half in this. Hour 45 minutes. I think you could do better. I think you could take this game and do better. But for what it is, it's good. Congratulations to Destructive Creations. You made a decent game. That's actually kind of fun. Just the mechanics need some fine-tuning and refining. What would I give it on a score scale? Well, I wouldn't, actually. I could not objectively score this game. You're not going to get a score out of me. Is it mindless violence? Yes. Is it mindless violence I like? Mostly. Would I play this for hours on end? Probably 5 hours tops. Does it have the potential to be a lot more? Yes, it does, and I wish they would take it in that direction. That's everything I have to say here. In the meantime, if you guys had a good time, hit the like button. If you'd like to see more stuff by me, Fiaura, you can subscribe. If you want to support the channel, you can do so through the Patreon, or you can click on the ad at the end of the video and check out the sponsor. Lastly, here's the previous brutally honest review for you guys. And, yeah, that's about it. See you later, guys. Bye-bye. I must make sure Derek remains with his wife. So, basically, you've already spoiled the stories for me by telling me what I have to do to unlock these. Okay. Now, supposedly he's a pistol expert. We'll see. The past couple weeks I've been barricaded up in your home trying to get hold of your ex-wife, Chloe, over the phone. No one on the other end has ever picked up on this made you worry for her and your son, Tom, over whom she has custody. Even though you and Chloe have parted on the best terms 2 years ago, you still care about them and want to make sure they're safe from the post-apocalyptic nightmare. Storing to me applies as you can realistically carry in your car. You drive over the state border towards their home. Soon enough, your vehicle runs out of fuel and grinds to a halt. Just before you ditch it, though, you hear an interesting broadcast on the radio. Survivors in the secured city of Wellston, far to the east, claim to have a ship which they plan to use to find sanctuary offshore. If you can find Chloe and Tom, maybe you can get there. Start your journey on foot. So, my first quest marker is Chloe's apartment. Okay.